We are now in session. Good evening, folks. It is boy Elo Lucky. I am with my boy Toby and Charles. We have a special session for everybody. But first, we want to take a moment to say thank you so much to our followers, our folks that subscribe to our channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. We're here to share great content with everybody. Thank you for the support. We love you guys. Thank you so much. And we continue to want to serve our community in all different ways. And we're so proud of what we're doing. And we're so proud of for you to be part of it, part of the journey as well. Yep. So, thank you. So yeah.
Thank you.
Man, Toby, I met Charles. What do we have today?
We got to talk about Toby.
Oh,
we just want to talk shit about him.
So we already talked.
Yeah.
He interviewed me. He interviewed you.
Yep.
Today is his day.
Let's grill his ass.
Yeah. Oh, I think the girls are pretty excited right now, huh?
It's hot right now, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, you might as well take off your sweater.
Man, I'm sure you're gonna be sweating, dude. We're gonna be
right now, huh?
We're gonna be grilling you, man. You know, we the first quarter of this podcast, we really want the fans and people out there to really get to know us, and we had an opportunity to introduce each other. So now will be asking Toby a few questions, where he's from and all that. Charles, you want to start it out? Want to start it out with some questions for him?
Well, I mean, let's just start from the beginning.
Yeah.
You start off out of your dad's nutsack too?
Yes, correct.
Yeah?
I started off as his right nutsack.
It's a right nutsack. Okay.
Yeah, bro,
So you're lefty or righty?
As soon as that gate opened, I was off and running already. Right?
Oh, man, you'd be a trillion. How many is it? Billion?
Billion, bro.
Dang.
As soon as I got to that finish line, I still had to fight just to get in there.
Well, Toby's always going to be a winner in our eyes.
Yeah.
I try. I try to be a winner, in everyone's eyes. But, really it just mattered to me, it doesn't really matter what other people think,
So Toby, let's go back to the roots, man. Where are you from? Where's your family from?
Oh man, I'm from Las Vegas. That's where my family's from.
What's so funny about that?
I was thinking other things in my mind. I was thinking Sapphire. I was thinking all kinds of things.
But no, I was born here, man.
Wow,
I was
you born
in
here?
Las Vegas. Yeah,
Okay.
my family is actually from Udon area, like Thailand area.
Udon, Thailand.
Yeah, that's where they're from, But I mean, that area is mostly Lao folks anyway. We just became part of Thai. But it's really loud. They eat sticky rice in that area.
It's like the Thai Isan.
Yeah,
that
Isan.
group. Yeah, Thai Isan.
So it's more like the area of Laos that Thai have conquered?
Crossed over.
They're part of the Dai people from my dad's side of the family. They're part of the Dai people. That's from China area.
Okay.
Which came down.
What's the Dai people?
Came down.
Like Thai Dai,
Oh, I thought it was Thai Thai.
Yeah, like the Thai people, TAI, the Dai people.
TAI.
Okay, I just learned something new.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't know that.
Well, there's different ethnic groups. You definitely, but I heard about the Thai.
Majority of them settled in Laos
Yeah.
and Thailand and
Burma.
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 They all intermixed.
Yeah, intermixed.
In that area, and they settled.
Yeah. So did your parents escape the war too? Then did your mom and dad escape the war?
Yeah, they did. My dad did. So my grandpa, he was like a police officer over there, and he was part of the government, the original government.
Yeah.
Right? And so when the military came in and started killing off the people, they were going after whoever worked for the government, and so they had to escape. They jumped over to Thailand and they settled there.
Wow.
And my dad, he crossed over first. He escaped. He crossed over illegally.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he had to escape through the night, and then he with the log.
Yeah.
And he got on the log and
Yeah,
he just
floated
down the
floated
stream.
down.
Yeah, and then,
Across the Mekong River?
yeah, across the Mekong River.
My uncle actually did that too. That's
Did the same
crazy. Yeah, he
thing.
did the same
A
thing.
lot of people that cross over like that, they didn't make it.
They
The
make
kids, and yeah, they
Oh,
shoot.
wow.
So
Yeah, they shoot
if they see you cross over, they'll shoot you. Pa, pa, pa. And then Thai people, you're crossing over, they're gonna shoot back too. So you're crossing in the middle of the night. Yeah.
So was the Laos people that was shooting them?
Well, yeah, because they're killing everybody.
That's trying to run away.
Trying to run away and escape. Anything that had to do with the old government, they were killing off. So they were going to different villages and pulling out, you work for the government, you this and that, and then you have to escape. But they were sparing like the farmers, and they were sparing like the people that had nothing to do with it. So.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy story, man. And you know, my dad, he pretty much escaped, and you know, he was a bad kid. He didn't want to listen. You know,
He didn't
what I
wanna
mean?
listen,
He
yeah.
didn't want to listen to nobody. You know?
So that's just like Toby, huh?
Yeah, that's like Toby.
That's where Toby
where I
got it
get
from, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I tell him all the time, man, you made me like this.
Yeah. You don't want to listen to me. No, I'm trying to listen to you, but you don't want to listen to me.
No,
Y'all-
it's one of
y'all
those
fight
things,
back and
right?
forth.
Yeah. It's one of those things, right? It's like, man, like, do as I say, not as I
Yeah,
do.
do,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Yep.
what the
That's a
hell?
hypocrite.
Yeah, hypocrite, you know.
Hypocrite.
You tell me don't be a gangster. He's like, dude, he's one of the biggest gangsters. I'm like, what the hell? But, yeah.
So your family went into the camps. When did your family start resettling here in the States? When y'all get here?
Dude, I think my dad came like in 81 or 80. I don't remember the exact year, but he came here. He landed in Vegas. He was sponsored too by his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And he came over here and he started working. My mom ended in San Diego.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they met, you know, Palimsao and all that stuff.
Wait,
That's
so
they
how
met.
did it
Behind
meet?
me up.
Well, he went down to San Diego to
Okay.
go play, and that's how they met, you know. And then-
Little bar club or what?
No, you know, like, you know, with his friends. Hey, if I put this out, I know
Yeah,
some
yeah,
girl
yeah,
down
yeah,
from
yeah.
Paxay area,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To go down there. And then
Oh, your
so
mom's
he
from
drove.
Paxay?
My mom's from Paxay.
Okay, that's where we from. So, Charles too.
Dude, well, my mom came.
Your mom,
Yeah.
my whole family's from that area.
Paxay area?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paxay area.
I heard it's nice over there now, man.
It is nice down there, man. It's developed. It's developed now, more developed.
Well, maybe one of these days we'll go check it out.
We gotta go.
Because I don't know
We
about.
do a tour, huh? Southeast Asian
We
tour?
should. Like go all over Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar.
I mean, it'd be good to go next year. Be our 40th next year. That'd be good.
Thailand actually lifted not too long ago
The travel?
the
The
travel
restriction,
restriction.
yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, they barely lift that up. So.
Are they going to put it back on? Because I heard like over there they're worried about COVID still.
I don't know, but they did a 180. At first, they were gonna kind of like say no, we can't, and then like a day later they changed their mind.
Wow.
You know? So, but yeah.
So fast forward.
Yeah.
Now that you're out of your dad's nutsack, where do you start? Like when do you start having memories of like your childhood?
The first thing I remember, dude, like all kindergarten. Kindergarten is my first memory in preschool. I remember like before that though, man. Like my family had nothing, man. Like growing up, I remember we kind of dug in the trash, man, like just to make ends meet. You know, we
Yeah.
go to recycle, right? Grab the kapong, you know, and then you kind of grab those
All
and
the
go
bottles.
recycle the
Yeah.
bottles and stuff. And I'm like, damn, man. And I see it, but you know, I was
Yeah.
a kid, so I'm like, man. When they tell me we go play, so I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go play. You know, so
Or go make money.
Yeah,
You
go
feel
make
good
money.
about helping
Go
the
to
family.
the park and grab all those bottles that everybody's left on the ground at the park. Yeah.
yeah. But my dad, he was pretty strict. You know, he was a really, he wasn't military, but he was strict as far as like trying to keep me away from
Trying to keep
like,
you in
the
line.
trouble.
In
Yeah, keep me
line.
in
Yeah.
line,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
He was stern. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And I think most parents at that time, just the laws, they didn't understand it quite a bit. Adapting to their environment, a lot of gangs were building up at the time
Yeah.
because all the older guys had to protect, you know,
Right.
the younger one. That's crazy. So when your parents met, you guys end up moving to Fresno afterwards.
No, we went. We stayed in Vegas first. I was born there, so it wasn't until I was like 3, 4 years old,
Yeah.
and then we moved here to Fresno.
Oh, here in Fresno.
Because my mom's side was from over here. So we moved over here. My mom wanted to be closer to
Yeah.
her side, so my dad's like, all right, let's go. Because my dad's side's from Vegas. They're all in Vegas. You know?
I see.
Shout out to 702.
Yeah, Vegas.
702, like Fresno?
no,
Vegas.
Vegas.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the zip code.
Yeah.
South Fresno. South Fresno.
area code. The area code.
code,
It used to
man.
be what 209, right?
209 back in the
They
day.
changed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so all the gangs, you know, happened around this
That's
time.
when Toby dad moved here. That's where all the gangs came from.
Yeah, it was his fault. You know?
So Toby, like, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
Well, I'm the oldest of 4.
Damn.
So
Dude, are we all the oldest? In our
think
family?
We are.
That's crazy.
Oh, shit.
think so.
I just thought about that right now.
Nothing
Really
coming.
Hey,
because-
that's why we all fucked up.
yeah, because you know, we get beat, right? We have to be
got-
the
yeah.
example.
Example.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
see?
we were the example
See?
of getting beat
Getting
and
beat.
getting yelled at. But then, as it goes down the line, they loosen up.
They loosen
on
up.
the discipline.
They do. Well,
You know?
Yeah.
also, we're the first one to get experience a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, let Lucky do it. Charlie,
It is.
Charlie, and we were the first experience
Right.
be able to do that. Dang. So you're the oldest. How many brothers and sisters again?
I got 2 younger brothers and 1 sister.
Your sister's in the middle.
She's like the third one.
Oh, see.
Yeah,
It's
she's
like
the
our
third
family,
one.
too.
My next one and down the line is like 4 years younger than me.
Oh, okay.
So when do you start developing your own personality?
Oh man, straight from
your
my dad's nutsack, bro.
So start from then.
It started from then.
Look, so you
Fighting
weren't
my way.
So you weren't like disciplined and be like, oh man, I gotta listen to my dad, and all of a sudden you start getting some hair in your nuts and get brave, or you just been like that?
No, I've always been naughty, you know. Like I've always been curious about like the world, you know, and so. You know, growing up, I always did stuff that I wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so my dad I remember he always yelled at me. My mom always yelled at me. I get hit, and then I still don't learn my lesson, you know? Like, damn, man, you get hit, and then next thing you know, I forget about it, right?
Yeah.
Forget about it, and I go do the same thing. And,
So who get hit the most?
like in my family?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I got hit the
It
most,
gotta be
dude.
Toby. It gotta be Toby.
Yeah, I got hit
I
the
was
most.
saying I did too.
Well, now does your sister get hit?
No, she didn't get hit. You know, when like you know how like when parents like spank you and they
Yeah.
hit you, right? And I would fight back, right? Like,
Yeah.
When they would get a stick and they would try to hit you, right? And I'm like, it hurts. So like, you know, my mom, I remember one time she tried to hit me with the fly swatter, but it was a wooden one, right? So she hit me, right? So I grabbed it, you know, and she go, oh, bootleg money. So
Yeah. Okay.
And so she grabbed another, like the metal one now, like, oh, shit. I ran away.
Man, if you were my kids, I'll beat your ass even more.
Yeah, and then I remember she like, man, you better get over here. I'm gonna hit you even harder. I said, nope, I run away, man.
Dang.
I would go into the room, lock the door. But then
Yeah.
when my dad come home, man, I was scared of my
get it.
dad. Yeah, I would get it.
You get the discipline, dude.
Right.
You know, first I'm thinking I'm here trying to hear your story, my story. So, your story, like, did your dad ever lecture you about women?
No,
No,
he never did.
He never told you.
He never
No
told me about
way.
women or nothing. You know, my dad, he like the way he taught me was more in analogies, more
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
stories,
yeah. Stories,
right? Like
stories.
in stories,
Metaphors.
So, but he would never say, "Hey, don't do this," right? But he would be like, "Okay," like he would tell me stories, and I would have to take that, and I would have to think about it.
But did he ever smile at you, or looked at you and be like, "Hey, I'm proud of my son. He brought a girl home, or he brought a girl to a dance." or
No,
whatever.
they
He
didn't
never
want
did?
that.
He didn't want that.
No, he didn't want that
damn,
because
mine was opposite.
With my dad, no, he said focus more on your purpose.
Okay.
Focus more on your job.
Yeah,
right?
that's good.
And that's what he said.
Yeah.
And he didn't want me to have girlfriends or anything to
No
do with
way.
any of that stuff. Yeah, and that's why
Dang.
I was curious, right?
Yeah.
So like, why not? And so
Yeah.
I would always try to find my ways. But
See, I always thought about that in the Lao culture, right? When I'm growing up, I asked myself, man, my dad talked to me a little bit about women, but you guys have kids now. You guys might be having that conversation, but that's very interesting. My dad was totally opposite. So to hear him saying that he wanted you to focus on school, man, that's
it was
really
more
good.
it was more like your purpose.
Purpose.
Right? Like why are you here? Like, and my dad, he was spiritual, but he didn't believe in religion.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
he
yeah,
believed
yeah.
that religion was restrictive.
Right.
And he said if you follow any religion, he said that you're not really free.
Yeah,
because
you're not
still
opening up.
Yeah,
You're not opening yourself
you're
up.
believing you being
Narrowed,
right?
yeah.
Narrow-minded. But when you are spiritual, you believe every religion is the
Yeah,
same.
yeah,
and they follow the same path.
Right.
They're trying to teach you something.
Right.
Right.
So,
Wow.
were you allowed to have girlfriends when you were in high school?
No, I was.
So you had to sneak around and be like keeping all these little girls
I had to
away?
keep- so it's like I was dating a lot of girls, and I would have to keep it under wrap.
Yeah.
Like I basically lived throughout my school years. I lived a double life.
I mean, I remember Toby he was one of the first ones to have a car when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His blue car always stick out, and I was like, damn, Toby was the first one, and then everybody else started getting a car, right, junior year.
I didn't want the car though, believe it or not.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't want the car
Because you had to drop off the brother and sister to school?
Yeah, because growing up, man, it was more like responsibility.
Yep.
Right. Hey, I got to do this job. Hey, I need you to do this now. Right. So as I got age where I could drive.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to drive. You dropping me off already. You know, like, why am I going to drive? You
The
know?
car was burgundy when Toby got it.
Wait, is it
Yeah,
burgundy?
it was.
Yes.
It
How was it blue? Did
He sanded
painted
down.
you painted it, right?
Yeah, we
You
painted
did
it.
Mako?
Huh?
You did Mako?
No.
We did the Mako. Did you? Yeah.
No, I remember
yeah.
asking him.
I remember sanding it down and then you spray paint it.
No, we primered it because I got in an accident.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it
we
was.
primered it.
And I asked you, I said, where'd you get the paint? He goes, Mako. I was like, the cheap
But
Mako
the thing-
commercial?
Yeah, the thing was, my dad, he always like, if you have this now, and
Yeah.
if you fuck up, you got to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would never like say, hey,
Yeah.
I would help you do this or this. He said, no, you got to figure it out. And that's how he taught me, right? It's like, oh, okay, figure out. And so now, as an adult, now my mind works a lot faster, right? So
Right.
the
Yeah.
experience, and I was like, fuck, man, like, and I would always be mad at him, like, hey, how come he don't want to help me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, shit, I remember in high school, I used to be like, man, Toby has a cool car. What a lucky guy.
Yeah, yeah. You know?
And shit, you know, after school, I had to go pick up my brother. I had to
Sister,
drop him
your mom.
off. Yeah.
Well, I had to do the same thing.
Yeah,
We
Yeah,
all
no,
did
that's
it.
what I'm saying. We all
We
did
all
it. 'cause
did
we're
it.
the
Yeah.
oldest.
The same thing. I had freaking Saya. I'm like, man, you better learn how to drive, dude. I'm tired of this. He would
Yeah.
take my car, pick up my sisters and brothers.
Yeah.
To me, you guys had AC in your car. I had to roll down my window. I had the little fan that's plugged in.
Bro, I remember
Well,
because it was a power window, right?
Yeah.
The AC went out, right? I'm like, what the heck? And you know, my dad, he wouldn't fix it. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm driving around with the windows up and no AC in the summer. I'm like, oh my God. Like, man, it was horrible. So then I would go to like the 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee and drink it, right? Because it was cool, you know? Like, man.
man, those are the days, man.
Yeah.
So now you went to high school. You did all that.
Well,
What?
before we go past high
Okay,
school,
go for it, Charles.
let's go back to middle school.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I remember you talked about you going to Wawona.
Yeah.
And it was
Wawona.
completely different from going to Duncan.
Well, growing up, man, my dad like always kind of kept us away from the culture.
Yeah.
But he taught us the culture, right? He said, hey, this is Lao people, this and that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he always said, man, Lao people, they just want to party. They just want to like hang out. They're not driven, right?
Yeah.
And so my dad wanted to change that.
Yeah.
So in his spiritual way, he's like, you know what? He said that you make your own faith, whatever
Yeah.
you want to control. And you know, I think he was trying to test it in his own way. Say, you know what? This might be your destiny, but let's see if we could change that, you know? And so he would always pull us out. We never lived like in the hood. Like we lived in the Mexican hood. We didn't live
Yeah.
in the Asian hood, you know? And so
He was trying to integrate, but also see other cultures and other things
no, he was trying to keep us away, like, you know, from our culture.
from your culture.
Yeah, from our culture. You know, I didn't know Lao people until like, you know, I got to like middle school. That's when
way.
I met up with more Lao people with
Yeah.
the Brook Street
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so crazy because there's so many Laos and Asian
Fresno.
people in Fresno.
Tons, dude.
Yeah, but you know where I went, where we lived in Parkside, and that's
Yeah.
where all the bulldogs were. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So growing up in elementary, I got bullied a lot, dude.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
going there, man, I had to fight every single day. I had to
You're probably the
run every
only.
single
You're
day,
probably the
you
one
know?
only Asian kid.
I was.
Yeah?
In Parkside and in the Bulldog area, that was like the Mexican ghetto. It was just Bulldogs, right?
Dang.
So we would
Yeah.
we would have to wait for like the school bus, bro. They would pick on us. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And that's like the height of the Bulldog time, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was tight, dude. They were very strong. It was the
Yeah.
east side, the park side, dude. There was a lot.
Yeah.
And so like I would run, man, to getting off the school bus. I would run home, man. They wouldn't
Yeah.
get picked on.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So you had a similar lifestyle like I did, but I was in the East Coast. But it's weird because here in Fresno, there's so many Asian people
Right.
to protect you from that.
Right,
But
right,
you
right.
didn't get that.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
So weird.
Yeah, and so, you know, when I grew up, dude, like, I had to go through that. I didn't have no protection or nothing. I had to learn how to fight, dude. I was bullied. Like, man, fuck. I'm like, what am I supposed to do, you know?
Yeah.
So going to school, I was scared. Like, oh, fuck, man. And then my brother, who was 4 years younger than me, I'm like, damn, man, now I have to protect him, too.
He's gonna go through it.
Yeah, he's going to go through it. And so I'm like, man, I don't want that to happen to him.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And so my dad had these Muay Thai videos, right? These-
The
they're on
Phnom Thom
VHS.
movies? The
The
Phnom
Phnom
Thom
movies,
movies?
they're like Muay Thai videos
Yeah.
that they have that shows you the technique and how
Yeah,
to fight and all that stuff, right?
How to kick.
And then at our old house, we had a punching bag, but I took that punching bag and I went across the street and they had like pallets stacked up.
Yeah.
So I created this one thing which was my own world, right? And I would practice hitting that bag every day. Like practice, I would go and I would hit the bag. And I remember, man, this one kid, he called me out in 6th grade. And he pulled my hair. He knocked down. He said, "Man, you chink, you this and that, right?"
Yeah.
And I was so mad. I was crying. I'm like, "Man, why is it?" And it was a big kid, right?
Yeah.
Man, I don't want this to happen to nobody, this and that. And he said, hit me, right? He looked at me. He said, hit me, right? And I'm like, man, if I hit his ass, I'm going to get in trouble,
Yeah.
And I was scared more of my dad than him, right? And I'm like, man, I was crying because I'm like, fuck, man, do I want to get in trouble? Or am I going to hit this guy, who am I more scared of, my dad or this guy, So like, fuck this shit. Then I just hit him,
Yeah.
I hit him and I got suspended. And then my dad came and got me. Boy, I got whooped. It whooped bad, man.
Damn.
But yeah.
Wait, so your dad wasn't like, damn, I'm proud of you for standing up?
No, because he was more like, hey, don't cause trouble. Right? He was more
Walk
like,
away.
Yeah, walk away.
Yeah.
Walk away. If you didn't.
Bigger person.
Yeah, beat a bigger person.
Yeah.
But as a kid, you're like, well,
You
how
can't
can I
beat
beat
a
a bigger
big person.
person?
Nuh-uh.
Man, fuck
Dude, that's
this
so
shit,
weird because being raised by my mom, she's a woman, but we were taught the same things.
Yeah.
So, like, I wasn't allowed to have girlfriends or fight.
That's crazy.
Really?
Mine was total
Yeah.
opposite because I never got picked on, but I always protected myself and all the other guys too. And I had a big group too, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Right.
But the women too.
Yeah, because you have a big group in numbers, right?
Yeah.
Numbers.
That didn't change for me until I got to middle school, where
Yeah,
the
yeah.
numbers grew a little bit,
yeah.
right? So I'm like, oh shit, I got people that's gonna
Yeah.
watch me
Yeah.
now, right?
Yep.
And I remember Jim and them. They said, "Hey man, you loud?" I go, "Yeah." So hey, come hang out with us, right? I'm like, oh shit, okay, yeah, I'm gonna hang out with them, right?
Yeah.
And then when I hung out with them, and now it's strength in numbers, right? So now they kind of leave me alone. But boy, as soon as after school hit and I'm on that school bus, I'm like, oh shit,
Man. That's
yeah.
why the first day we met, you were like, hey, you're Laos?
Yeah,
Let's be
that's
friends.
why I asked you, right?
Yeah.
Because I grew up like having to protect myself, always
Yeah.
survival mode, right? Like I always grew up and I had to protect my younger siblings and my family, right? And so now like whoever's in my inner circle and I see them get picked on or they get advantage of, I take it very personal.
Yeah. I think even that time, man, the landscape of the refugee community, we're still new. We're that new group that came in, Hispanics and blacks and Armenians and all these other groups are here, and
Right.
of course the new guys are gonna get picked on all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was, and that's why gangs were formed in Fresno. Fresno had the highest gang rates in the world for shooting and murders at the
Yeah,
time.
it was
Remember?
for protection.
Yeah.
And
Protection.
everybody was trying to protect themselves.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
that they were bad.
Yeah, they're trying to
You
protect
know?
themselves. So after graduate high school, were you able to bring girls around after high school?
I did it anyway. I did it because at that time, man, I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I'm not gonna listen, because at the same time, I'm like, man, like he always taught me to make my own decision, right? He always said that, but he also restricted me, So I'm like, what the hell? Like, it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
But he always tell me, okay, well, whatever choices you make, you have to live with the consequences.
Yeah.
Not making a choice is still a choice.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, all right, well, I don't understand what that means, but
Well, it's kind of like back then when you're first learning how to drive, they go,
Right.
go speed limit. But then when you go speed limit, they go faster. But then, no, don't go too fast, go speed limit.
Yeah.
So they're telling you both things
Right.
because they want you to go faster.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they want you to understand following laws and rules.
Right. And my dad, he didn't really follow the laws, and when he taught me, he was like, there's a higher being up there, whatever it is, you're here to learn a lesson, right?
Yep.
You're here to suffer for your past mistake, whatever it is. And he always said that, things will always happen. It's how you react to the situation. So if you're at peace with yourself,
Right.
you can, be happier.
Right. Yeah, if you're at peace with
I
yourself.
understand that, but once I started, when people say stuff to me, I don't react no more. Then it's more peaceful,
Yeah.
I don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So what part of your life have taught you the most lesson? Is it your dad or your own experience that you've done?
I think both, man. I think it was a lot of my experience. The things I wasn't supposed to do, if the iron's hot, you touch it, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big influence on how I think things, right? How I logically put things together, And I think the guidance of my dad was the one that kind of okay, yeah, be more realistic, right? Like this, you could dream big, but how are you going to get there and achieve it, right? How are you going to get there, like meet your goals?
You got to work the work.
Yeah, you got to work. My dad, I see him, man. Like he worked till nighttime, 1, 2 in the morning, bro. I'm like, damn, what the hell?
So you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that, and that's how I got the work ethics, from him.
Yeah.
So that's why you're a realist.
Yeah.
And unlike us, we're fucking dreamers, and we're just like, let's just dream.
Dream, and then we don't want to do it, but we want to tell orders though.
Yeah,
Like, go do this, go do that.
But see, you guys are more visionaries, right?
Yeah.
Like you're more I see the bigger picture.
Yeah,
Like, okay, I know this is what it's supposed to look like, right? But
With
I'm
the
gonna
pieces.
need people
Yep.
to help me get there.
Help me get there.
As
Yeah.
for me, it's like, okay, I see what you're doing, and how are we gonna achieve it, right?
It's like Steve Jobs, he's the visionary, but
Right.
Steve Wozniak is the one who
That made it happen.
Yeah, made it happen.
Yeah, that made it happen.
The execution.
Yeah, the
Execution.
execution side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was important. He told me to execute, and that's what matters to manifest anything in
Yes.
this reality.
Yeah.
Execution is where it matters.
So Toby, how'd you, your own business, you started doing that? Like, what made you want to open up something that's a little different? Not a lot of loud guys, are in the HVAC business. Like, what brought you to that?
Honestly, I never wanted to work for anybody.
Yeah.
I always value freedom, but
Yeah.
I didn't know how to get that.
Right.
I didn't know how to get to where, because there was no mentor when I grew up. I didn't know that was important, right? And the mentors that we do see was our uncles or grandpas and stuff like that, and a lot of them are just like in gangs or doing stuff that they're not supposed to do. We didn't have that.
Or do labor work.
Yeah,
labor work.
Right.
Yeah, and that was the easier thing to do.
And most of them, labor work.
Nothing wrong with that, it's just that they were confined to this sphere that this is all I know. Right?
Well, I think they were limited too.
Yeah,
'cause
they were limited.
Yeah.
the English was not that great for them, right? They're second language learners, and it was hard for them. So I could see that. But so they wanted you to.
Yeah, and so they wanted me to. My dad wanted me to be the next one coming up. And for them, man, their name was so important. Like their last name.
Oh, yeah.
And
So
I don't know if it's
the reputation.
or the
Yes,
reputation.
yes.
Yeah, that was.
I think
so
that's
important.
all our family, bro.
Yeah, that was so
all
important.
I don't know. That's every culture.
No, every
Yeah.
culture, bro. Yeah.
And I couldn't comprehend that, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
man, why is this so important? Like this is bullshit. I ain't trying to
Impress nobody.
impress nobody. Yeah, I don't care about who this person thinks
Yes,
of me or
exactly.
whatnot. And so I'm like, man, I didn't understand that. You know.
It's so scared of losing face.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
scared of losing
yeah.
face, right? And I realized, man, like you're hiding in a way where you don't want to. You're so scared to go do anything, and I didn't want to live my life like that. I see how my dad lived, and I took the good thing that he taught.
So
and
did
then
you
I apply it?
So did your dad ever tell you, Toby, you're gonna be this? Your brother's gonna be this, like my parents did?
No. He never
they
did.
didn't.
Yeah, he
Wow,
didn't.
that's
He
good.
said, whatever you do,
Yeah.
learn business. That's all he said.
Yeah.
Right. As far as guiding me the way, he said, learn business. Man, what the hell
Wow.
learn business for? I don't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why he made me do accounting. He made me do
Ordering.
marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah. He made me do like advertising on the the yellow book.
The Yellow
Yeah.
Book.
Yeah, the yellow book. And
You had
he
to
made me-
advertise on the Yellow Book?
Yeah, and he made me call people. I'm like, man, I
Ding
don't wanna-
ding, the Yellow
Yeah.
Book. Victoria, put that Yellow Book on there, man.
So
That's
imagine,
old school.
Right? Imagine you call the yellow bee back to the yellow pig. A little kid, 11, 12-year-old. Hello, yes, I want to know, like I want to see if I could add a page on the
Yeah.
yellow
Yeah.
page, right? A little kid, how are you going to take him seriously?
Bro, that is so ancient. I just thought about that
Yeah.
right now. Like,
Dude,
that's how we advertised back in the 90s.
Well, we didn't have cell phones back then. It's
That's
all
what I'm
landline.
saying. Millennials would never know this.
No.
We are millennials. fool.
The
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
They will never get to know this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You had to do that?
I had to do that. I had to be the interim, right? The mediator between my dad and the business people. So I learned the language. And I learned the marketing side, like mailers and stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
dude, man, when I was doing mailers for my dad, I licked the damn envelope, right? I was a kid, So I'm like, what the hell? I was doing so much of that shit, dude. My tongue like, oh man, I can't do this anymore, right?
funny.
And my dad would just look at me like, you so stupid, And then he would grab the sponge,
Sponge
make
and
it
water,
wet, and
yeah.
they do this. I'm
Yeah.
like, why did you tell me this before? You
I
know,
wanted you to think.
Yeah.
I wanted you to think.
I want you to like figure the shit out.
Salad.
Yeah.
Kuba salad.
Oh, good, you know,
Salad.
Kuba salad, man, you know.
Because there's a lot of time like my kids they'll fuck some shit up and they're always like, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm like, dude, try to be resourceful. Think about it. Look around. Take a chance. Take a time to think and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't take the easy way out by having me do it.
Yeah.
And then when they do something, I'm like, man, you guys are dumb.
Yeah. And then, you know, but when he did that, you know, I'm like, man, what the hell? And when he showed me that, I'm like, why need, like, I felt dumb, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, now I know when I'm doing this, I don't make that same mistake. Yeah, I don't make that same mistake. And so I think something else, you know.
Outside the box.
And so when I do things now, I'm always thinking, okay, we could do this, but how can we be more efficient?
More efficient.
Yeah. Right? And that's where my thinking comes in, right? Well, this is a correct way, but can we get it faster? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we get here instead of 1 week? Can we get here in 2 days? Right? What's possible? You know.
So, you know, when I came back from the Navy, I think I met all you guys at around that time, 2008. And when I heard Toby he's about to start his HVAC, but I was like, oh shoot, he's starting his own business. Like, you were the only one of the few loud guys that we know in high school that actually did something, you know?
Right.
And that was so inspiring, man. So like, what made you as a young guy wanted to get into your own business besides don't want to work for people? Was there a drive? Was there a
What's the
reason?
turning point?
What's the turning point on
Turning
that?
point for what, getting my own business?
Yeah, your own business, your HVAC.
Yeah, it's just I never like getting into HVAC.
Wait,
or?
so did you work as an internship for someone else first? Then you started your own
for
business?
HVAC, I did start working. Well, I started working for somebody. I actually fell into it by accident, right? So my wife got in contact with her friend that she worked with before. Had a husband that worked in HVAC. And he needed somebody. He went off on his own, and he needed someone, right? And at that time, I wasn't working.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you know, I was doing odd end jobs, you know, because we barely had our son, and then, you know, I had to kind of stay back and watch him, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of raised him when he was younger, and then I was working. You know, when you have no help, you kind of have to make it work to where somebody work in the daytime, somebody work in the nighttime, you watch, right?
Yeah.
And so I was the one that worked at nighttime, and I took on all the burden, right?
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I'm like, you know what? I can't do this forever, you know. And then this happened, and I said, you know, he's looking for somebody. And this time, my son was in preschool, so like, man, I could help out, you know, 3-4 hours a day, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
What can be hard about that,
Yeah.
you know? And so I went and go help him out, and then he showed me the rope. I go, dude, this is what you do all day. We drive around, we do 3-4 jobs a day. And then I go, man, this is fucking easy, you know, like, because I worked on cars before, so working on HVAC unit, it was like easier, you know.
Yeah.
And so we would drive around, we would drink. I'm like, dude, this is
life.
Yeah, this is life, you know. We would like go do a job near like Table Mountain or Chancey, right?
Yeah.
And we're drinking, and we go gamble over there. What the hell is this? You know,
Your own boss. This is work.
This is work. And he's like, yeah, this is work. We do what we want to do out here, right?
Yeah.
You set your schedule. I go, okay, well, let's go have lunch at the casino. I'm like, we could do that, you know? And then he's like, yeah, why not? I'm like, okay. And so I started working with him, and it became fun, right?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this is freedom. I could do what I want and still make money.
Yeah, get paid.
I'm like, dude, this is the job I've been looking for, right?
And you make more than what you were doing at the time.
Yeah, because at that time, you know, I was the store manager for Napa, you know, and it was corporate, right?
Yeah.
It was like you're still restrictive, and growing up, they tell you.
You drove that Napa truck?
Yeah, I do, man. We were having fun too, but.
I remember now.
Yeah. And growing up in high school, they say, get a degree, get a good job, corporate job, whatever, and then you're set, right?
Set.
But they don't tell you that there's other option.
Yeah.
You know, and so when I found that, I'm like, man, this is crazy to me. It was eye opening, right?
Yeah.
And so when I did that, I'm like, man, this is what I want to do.
Hey.
I said, I'm gonna get into this, and then I focused. Like from there, I quit everything, and then I would work with him part time, and I would still work 2 jobs at night.
Yeah.
And then after, if I didn't work, I would go on YouTube. I would YouTube this thing. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, what is this?
Yeah.
And I would buy books, right? And I would buy books from like the school. What are they reading? And I would read through it, right? I don't know it. I Google it, and I go ask them, you know. And so that's how I got into it. I consumed myself. I distanced myself from everybody during that time.
Yeah.
yeah, I went away for at least a year or two. I didn't talk to nobody. I just
It
focused
felt longer
on
than
myself.
that. It felt longer than that.
It was longer than that, you know.
I think it was
and
like 3, 4, almost 5 years.
It was
It's-
after, and you know, like I said, like you move in silent, right? And so
Yeah.
I didn't want, you know, nobody to know what I was doing. So I'm like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do, and distraction and everything, I put that away.
That's really good, man, for you to really process that, because a lot of people go into their field very distracted and not.
Yeah.
And you know, for young viewers out there watching this, or even the parents
Right.
watching this, like how important that is to take time to yourself and to really learn your craft. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, the thing I learned too is like, man, as you get older, and then, you know, as you get into your field, you have to take time away.
Yep.
You can't stay in that sphere where you're partying, you
Yeah.
have friends, you go to school, and you're doing the same thing every weekend.
You lose your focusness.
You lose your focus.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so when you actually just take time away, get away from everything, and you focus, you come back stronger.
Come back stronger.
Yeah, It changes you.
And all the other stuff's still there. Partying is still there, right?
It's
Later,
still there.
yeah,
It
it's still
doesn't change.
nothing
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah,
Those guys still
does
doing
not
the same
change
thing.
at all.
Yeah.
The only thing difference now is like they are older men that goes to these clubs and just stand there.
And
But
sip
I
on.
remember my dad, you know, he always said, we're judged based on our values. Right? If you cannot provide, protect, penetrate, be pest control.
Penetrate, woo, all the way in,
If
baby.
you cannot do all of those, like, you won't have any value.
Yeah,
You know, so it's very important that you get your skill set.
If you have enough money, you don't need to penetrate.
Yeah, but for
No,
us,
you
right?
still need to penetrate.
Yeah, you still need to penetrate. But for us, right, we
Yeah.
as guys, we have to work toward these things.
Yeah, of course,
You know,
of course.
to be something.
To
right?
be somebody. I mean, I think that's our DNA too.
Yeah.
Man, what's your value, man? When I look at somebody, I'm like, man, what have this guy done? You know?
Yeah.
It aspiring, like anybody that's going through whatever life they're going through. But
Right,
as a
right.
man, you need that, man.
Yeah.
And
You need these challenges.
you need these challenges, man. So
I remember when I was younger, like every time like I need something done, like fixing the cars,
Yeah.
like I would be like, "Hey, Toby, how you do this?" And you'll just come, or you'll ask me like, "Is this doing this and doing that?" I'm like, "Well, I was doing something. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." like, or like
I remember that.
Yeah.
Charles always called me, you know?
Yeah, like, hey, my axle's broken, and he like, well, what part? I go, the axle. He go, well, what part? I like,
I don't
fuck
know.
me, what part? The axle.
How many parts do they have?
The reason why I know so much about cars back then, because my dad owned a shop.
Yeah.
Like a mechanic shop, you
Yeah.
know? And so, like I said, he made me do everything. It breaks.
Yeah.
I got to fix
Yeah.
it. But like, what the heck? And I didn't want to do it.
So
yeah.
in 08, you were working at Napa, right?
That was my last year there.
See, I remember
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, that was my last year
driving
there.
through our neighborhood. I was like, man. So I was like, that's Toby. I was like, oh, Toby working Napa. Oh shit, he's delivering stuff. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, it's 08 when you came back and like let people know that you're alive.
Yeah, that's what they do. They finally realize, the hell, this guy, dude, skinny as hell, man. Yeah, that was the year. Wow.
And shit, even now, like every time I go, hey Toby, something's wrong with my AC. You go, okay, what's wrong with it? What's it doing? I go, I don't know, it's not working.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
But that's how I analyze, right?
Yeah.
That's it. So if you're telling me it isn't, so okay, yeah, Charles, this is what's wrong with it. Do this, right? And it's all right. I'll be out there whenever, right?
Yeah.
And so I know what's wrong with it already. I don't have to waste time on it, you know. So
Wow.
No, it makes sense. It's just that's how incapable I am, like mechanically.
Mechanically.
Yeah.
but you have your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
You took a risk. Now, a
Yeah.
lot of people at
Yeah.
under 30 take a certain amount of risk, but you talk about you struggling a little bit with you and your wife raising your son and having juggling jobs. Like after you learned your skill set, you took a risk to start your own HVAC. What was that feeling like? Were you scared going into something like
man,
that?
Well, I was a little nervous.
Nervous.
But I wasn't scared.
Okay.
Because growing up, I always took risks.
Yeah.
But you know, growing up, you kind of learn to manage your risks, right? You learn what you can do,
Yeah.
and you learn what you can't do. My dad put this perfectly. He said, when you start in life, it's like a coconut tree, right? If you start crawling from the bottom all the way up and you fall each time, it's not going to hurt as bad.
Yeah.
But if you start in the middle and you climb up and you fall, it's going to hurt more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you haven't built that tolerance for
Yes.
it yet.
Yep.
Yes.
So growing up, man, I tried so many businesses. I opened and failed so many businesses. I tried
Yeah.
buying and selling cars, buying and selling shoes, right?
Yeah.
Like just with our last guest, with Henry,
Yeah.
he said, buy one rock, buy one to stock, right? That's what he said. But I did all of those stuff and all of those ventures, man, and it prepared me, right?
Yeah.
And it all failed.
Dang.
And the one thing that I did, I put everything on the line because all those other things, my heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
But my heart was in this.
Yeah.
And I knew, like, man, I have a good feeling about this. I believe in this. I'm going to put 110% into this.
Yep.
And I did it.
You had the knowledge.
Yeah.
So this whole time, I always thought we were opposite. So you start a bunch of business that you don't fail or don't follow through with it.
Yeah.
I go and collect certificate and licenses that I don't start or follow through with it.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of shit that we do. So I guess we took pretty much the same path, but we always had different views and mindset on things.
Yeah, because, for me, when I started businesses, like I said, my freedom was my driven.
Goal, yes.
Yeah, it's what drove me, right? And it also made, I'm very ambitious too,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
I want more, right? And, my dad always told me, why are you doing all these things? You're failing, And he
Yeah.
never once said, okay, well, stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
He always said, find something else.
Yeah.
This is not what you're meant to do. Find something
Yeah.
else. I'm like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do,
Well, I mean,
Wow.
I remember growing up, you guys had a CD store.
Right.
And there's a lot of other friends that have different businesses, like video stores and all that
Video
stuff.
stores, yeah.
But they never had like a business structure. You guys were the only one that have somewhat of a business structure.
Right.
Because everybody else was, their accounting was the sketchbook.
The sketchbook.
Yes.
Like, and you guys at least had a computer.
Yeah.
And like you guys had like business model, like, oh, we don't do burn CDs, we do
Right.
like real CDs, and you guys had something. I'm like, oh man, this is so cool.
Yeah, it was more like, okay, we got here, but my dad didn't know how to get to that next level.
Yeah.
So he was kind of relying on me to get to that next level,
Yeah.
right? And so I didn't know. I didn't want to do. I want
Yeah.
nothing to do with any of that shop, So I'm like, man, but I had to help.
Yeah.
I want to go play.
Yeah, you wanted to
Yeah.
go
You know?
play. You were young too, man, taking on a lot of responsibility as the oldest.
Like I carried a lot of responsibility. My brothers and sister don't know.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
because
yeah.
that was my side to try to protect them, right?
Right, right.
I'll take on this responsibility. Just go do what you got to do.
I think every household had that book, man. My parents did too. I
What
always
did they
asked
sell?
them, any book, dude. I'm like, because, computer, I
Yeah.
mean, we barely had computers.
Right.
Late 90s, going to 2000. Everybody
Yeah.
was on AOL, chatting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody got a thing. But I told my parents, you have this book. What happens if the house get burned down? Right?
Yeah.
Who number y'all gonna remember from Laos?
Exactly.
From
Oh,
Laos.
yeah.
Exactly.
You write everybody name down
Oh
from
yeah,
Laos.
the black book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Black
saying
book.
everybody
Yeah,
had the book, dude. So I go to my friend's house. They're like, "Yeah, my parents got the book too." Man, this is in the culture, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Let me know, guys.
Yeah, that
Comment.
black, what's
the
the
little small one.
composition?
small one.
No,
Small
not my mom didn't have.
Yeah, no, the
composition.
composite.
Oh,
yeah,
the
no,
composition one,
Yeah,
right?
composition one. They all had
my mom
that.
has
you
a
had the little
small
one?
black
Yes,
book.
back one.
Yeah.
See, everyone had different colors or different one, but they all had a book.
Yeah.
Every freaking important information in that book.
Was in that book.
Yeah.
In that book.
Yeah, it was in that
Since
book.
the day she stepped into America.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my
I think we
parents-
still have it.
You still have it?
I think
Yeah,
so.
Probably does.
Still have it?
I think so.
Yeah, dude. I remember when they bought they started buying safes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember
put
that?
it in there?
In there?
Yeah.
When one family started buying that safe at freaking Target for I don't know how many pounds.
Oh, the one that you put the key,
key in,
in, you
you
put
lock-
it in
yeah.
there?
Oh,
the
no, we never
fireproof
had
one.
that.
And the fireproof one. Everybody started buying one.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Mom, why you guys buying safe? Well, everybody buying one. We buying two. Man.
But it was that one thing, right? Oh, you do it? I'm going to go do it too.
Yeah.
you know?
Do it too. Mom, you bought a new Sony TV. Everybody bought a Sony.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There he goes.
Yeah, that's crazy. You think about it, it's like, we take things from our past and try to improve on it.
Try to
Yeah.
prove. Yeah.
So Toby, is there like a certain part of your life that was like a low point that helped you change, or has it just been
Having
constant?
my son.
You're having your
That
son?
was the lowest point, man.
Really?
In my life, man. Because
Sorry, Tyler.
that's when. No, because we weren't ready.
Yeah.
right?
Weren't
ready.
I didn't want kids. I didn't want kids at all.
How old
Yeah.
were you when you had him?
Dude, 2010, I think it was like 24.
Oh, you were 24,
Yeah.
25, bro.
because at that time, we were partying, we were traveling, we were doing
Being
we were
young.
free.
Y'all
We were
young.
Yeah.
We worked.
Young,
we had
man.
great jobs, man.
Yeah.
And once we had our son, man, everything changed, everything crashed.
Perspective changed.
Yeah, it all crashed, dude. And I'm like, what? I had to leave my good paying job, my corporate job, come do this. I'm like, man, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, how am I gonna be a stay at home dad? I'm like, man, this ain't me,
Saying
Yeah.
And doing that, that's when I started thinking about the things my dad said.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, do this, do that, and things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and he said, there are no mistake in this world.
Yeah.
And so when you are going through something, he said, why are you going through it?
Yeah.
You need to figure out why you're going through it.
Right.
Are you there to learn a lesson?
Right.
Are you there to, if you don't learn that lesson, it's gonna keep repeating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And that's the Buddhist culture, right?
Yeah.
Samsara, right? They said
Yeah.
if you don't learn what you're supposed to learn, in another 10 years,
Yeah.
you're gonna do the same thing.
Yep.
And I'm like, fuck, man, why is this happening?
Yeah.
And then I realized, fuck, it was my time to leave that and go do what I needed to do, which was the HVAC stuff.
HVAC stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
Dude, it sounds like you learned a lot from your dad. What have you learned from your mom?
Dude, my mom, she was the supportive one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So my mom, she was the one that showed me compassion, love, right? All that other side that you're supposed to show with your feelings, right?
Yeah.
And for me, man, I kind of not show my feeling as much because I'm more my dad was the one that kind of raised me, trained me, right? To be more masculine, to be the head of the household, right? To take care of your family, your clan,
Right.
your lineage, right? And so that was important to me. But I think that my mom kind of taught me what love is,
Yeah.
and it's different. It's different for everybody, But to me, I think love is just more like, your community, your people, your circle. You know, that's who's gonna help you.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're coming up on the time, but let's talk a little bit about something different. What's your guilty pleasure? Let's change it up. Yeah, let's change it up a little bit.
My guilty pleasure?
Yeah.
I like to push cats.
Push cats.
Yeah.
You like to hit pussies.
I like to hit that pussy. No, man, I just like to push cat. When I see cats,
For reals?
yeah.
Oh, so
cat,
no jokes. So no jokes.
No joke. He's talking about cats.
I know.
Cats.
Like, where do you go to see cats?
Where you go see cats at?
Yeah, and then like, do you just run up and start pushing them, or what is
No,
it?
you know how like when cats come up and they rub up on
Ron, you
right?
just push them.
Yeah, I just push them.
Yeah,
Like
right.
I just because when cats come up and
You enjoy that?
and rub on you, I'm
Yeah.
like, this motherfucker, right? Like, why are you rubbing up on me, right? And then I would just push them, and they'd be like, what the fuck? Like they look at you, right? But when you call them, they don't come to you,
Yeah.
right? So hey, come here, cat, and they're like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, all right, well then, that's when I learned you can't make people do things that you don't want them to do, right?
Yeah.
So,
Shit, even on your guilty
fuck?
pleasure, you learn some shit, huh?
Yeah,
Dude.
still learning.
lessons, man. Everything we
Lessons.
do is all lessons, man. And I learned like, oh man, cats are like people too,
Yeah.
So when they rub up on me, I'm like, make the fuck off me,
Yeah.
So when I see them, even if they're chilling on the porch, and I go to a customer's house sometime, I would just push them.
What is one thing? I mean, we're running out of time, but I
Yeah.
want to ask Toby, what is one thing that you haven't shared that none of us know
Oh
about
man,
you?
everybody wants that, huh?
You haven't shared that we don't know about you.
Yeah, what?
There gotta be one thing that you
There's gotta be
shared. Like,
something,
I,
right?
that what
I
it
ain't telling
is?
Lucky. I ain't telling Charles.
What's
But
something
at
that
least
you?
one
Wait,
thing?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? You guys are waiting for me to tell you guys something? that you
Yeah.
don't know?
Yeah, we want to know. You know?
What's in the closet? Just give us
what's in
one.
the closet?
Just give us one.
I know you got a lot, but just give us one or half or half.
Pass.
A
I'll
glimpse.
pass to that question. I don't know, man. I mean,
Well,
what do you
that's-
guys want to know?
That's a great
Well,
question.
how can we ask if
Yeah.
to know what we don't know what you have in there?
Well, you can ask me whatever, and I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Man,
I told you my guilty pleasure. You guys didn't know that.
what's your kinkiest shit that you're into?
Ooh.
Kinky
For the
shit.
ladies.
For the ladies, yes.
For the ladies. Drum roll
Kinky
for Toby.
stuff, huh?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Like I like for me kinky stuff. Like what do you mean? Like with
Like you talk about
Bro,
kinky, like
open. It's just open.
it's open question, like
Yeah,
more
like-
like sex kinky.
It could be sex kinky. It could be fetishes
Oh,
or
it could be
something. Whatever
fetishes.
you want.
Oh, I see.
I'm leaving it open because Right now, Toby's trying not to give too much
Information.
He's trying to narrow it down. So now leave it open.
I mean, think about this. He said an hour and a half of making out. What other thing kinky is in part of that 1.5
whatever.
hours?
When I asked that question, whatever popped in your mind, I want you to say that.
Damn.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of the stuff I do, I don't think it's kinky. To me, I think it's normal.
Well, to the listener, it might be kinky.
What was it? Beads? I thought I heard beads.
No, I don't do any of that, man. No, kinky, I don't know, man. I do a lot of stuff.
Well, I think since he likes, he doesn't like he puts some cats away. He may use the feathers, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you guys say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to be in control, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you like the whoop. You like
for me.
Woof.
No, for
Woof.
me, like seeing them like in pleasure.
In pleasure.
Yeah, seeing them feel good, right? Like
Right.
it turns me on, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's kinky.
Of course. No, man, it's not kinky.
No, it doesn't have to be crazy kinky, you know? I mean, just a little kink.
Yeah, a little kink. But ladies, you know what? That's a question for the comments. Really appreciate Toby sharing a
kiss
little
and tell,
bit.
bro. Come on. What do you say about
yeah.
that? You kiss and tell.
Little kiss and tell.
Well, it was just a question. You didn't have to answer. You answer it the way you want to.
Yeah.
But before we go,
Yes.
one more thing about you that you haven't shared.
Yeah.
We're going to get something out of you.
You gotta get something.
One more thing. I don't know. What,
Anything.
About what?
About
Business?
anything. About business, about life.
About life, about anything, man.
What's your mantra?
What's your mantra?
Mantra.
Something you live by. Or something that you
Oh, the universal laws.
Mm-hmm.
I live by that.
Okay.
You know, universal law, there's 11, I think there's 12 of them.
Yeah.
But I live by that.
Okay.
You know, I
Sweet.
mean, whatever happened in this world doesn't, happen within those laws.
Right,
You
right.
can't change them. You know, so
Right.
if you don't know what universal's law
Look it
is,
up.
go look it up.
Look it
Google
up.
it.
Yeah.
Just Google it.
Universal laws, and
Yeah.
I try to live, peacefully. You know?
Peacefully. That's amazing. We are running out of time, folks. If you would like to get to know Toby a little bit more, please
Just a little bit, right?
Just a
drop
little
that
bit more.
comment, and he's open for all questions. So for the ladies, feel free to drop in that comment, okay?
Yeah.
Please, please don't forget
Hey, you guys
to.
are trying very hard.
We're trying to get something.
Yeah.
Well, I gave you some time to talk about your background, your history,
right.
but I want to know the Toby now.
Yeah.
So I want to do a second session on you and understanding
Session.
on
I
what
think you have to ask the right question, right?
Oh, there's a lot of questions in my head, but we don't have time for that. Let's go for the next one.
Yeah. We actually going to be doing a couple more sessions throughout the year just to recap on session 1. But the life story requires multiple sessions. But this is the first glimpse of about Lucky, about Toby, and about Charles.
right.
Matter of fact, if you guys know what you guys want to ask, tell me so I could ask Toby and Lucky.
And then one of these sessions, we're actually going to have possibly even a laptop where we can have those questions play on here.
Yeah.
And then we're going to read it out to everybody.
You know what?
So that way.
Let's do that. The next one we
the next
do,
one, that way.
we're gonna do a session where we
live
answer
session.
questions.
Live
session.
session. While we answer those questions, but also be more intimate with you guys that are watching.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Really appreciate you guys' support.
Right.
We love everything that you guys are doing for us and sharing our content with everybody. Okay.
Yep.
So, peace out. I'll see you guys in the next session.
Thank you so much.